Welcome back to bad lighting. Yay. Hey Manic Fam. I know, you're probably looking at the title of this going, where is the how to make a costume repair kit? Where is the next photography video? Why are we doing this for our next installment of Practical Cosplay? And that is because I recently had an insane amount of people request a video on how to survive their first convention, so I'm acknowledging that request and making this video. So if you guys want to see the other videos like sooner rather than later, let me know. And I will probably do something about it and give you those videos. But for now we're doing this one, so I hope that's alright. But yeah, so today on our latest installment of Practical Cosplay, I will be telling you 5 tips on how to survive your first convention. Unless you've already been through your first convention. Then I guess they're just convention survival tips in general. So the first tip I have for you guys is to make a loose plan. Loose being the keyword here. Don't go crazy and schedule everything to the max, but having a loose plan can be really, really helpful because it helps you avoid the problem of what do now that I'm at con. Scanning, oh, that's my shelf. Scanning the convention schedule and dealer's hall lists, which can usually be found readily available on your convention's website. And jotting a few things down is really helpful to anyone at any con figuring out what to do, but especially helpful at your first convention. Although you may see many cosplayers telling tales of their convention stories, just running around doing photo shoots and going with the flow, that's really not practical to do at your first convention visit. Although we may be going with the flow of the convention, usually we do have a loose backup plan to fall back on anyway, but it's a lot easier for us to do things like that than it might be for a first timer. And the last thing you really want to be stuck doing at your first convention that you really want to have a good time at is to be sitting there not having a clue what to do when you don't know how to get into the flow of the convention. Also, just like if you're interested in going to panels and therefore want to look at the convention schedule, if you're interested in doing things like cosplay photo shoots and meetups, totally look those up in advance and book any photo shoots that you want to do, because that is really the only way to make sure that those things will be a part of your weekend. Tip number 2. Choose your battles. Challenging yourself and stepping out of your comfort zone can be a wonderful thing. However, taking on every new thing at once is just asking for a disaster. What I'm trying to say here is just because you've never been to a con before doesn't mean that San Diego freaking Comic-Con is the best first convention for you to attend. So maybe to begin with, start with a smaller, local con and then work your way up to larger ones in different areas of the world. Although you may see some cosplayers wearing 8 costumes per day at a weekend-long convention all the time. I'm talking about me. I don't even know why I do this. That may not be the best option for you at your first convention. Generally, to avoid stress and logistical nightmares, I advise, especially for your first con, do 1 costume per day, maybe 2, if the second one is you in a kigu and a wig. And that is just so that you don't overwhelm yourself when you're getting into the hang of convention going. Tip number 3. Bring a costume repair kit. I know, I said I was gonna make a costume cosplay repair kit for specific costumes. Practical cosplay video. And I haven't gotten around to it just yet, sorry. But that does not mean you are exempt from this tip. So if you are wearing a costume, please at least bring a sewing needle and thread, duct tape, hot glue, and one of those stain remover sticks. I know probably the last thing you are envisioning happening to your costume is having it be destroyed while you're wearing it. But at conventions, things do happen, so it's best to just prepare for the worst. That's because it's always better to be prepared and be able to take that Tide stick and get rid of that stain than be wandering around the convention with a huge coffee spill down the front, because that just ain't any fun. And that brings us to tip number 4. Be as healthy and as safe as you possibly can be. I know I've already made a video about cosplay and health, And if you haven't seen it already, I'll leave a little card to it here. But I'm taking this as an opportunity to remind you just how important your health and your safety really are. Cons are big, crowded places filled with germs and probably more than a few people who are just not good people. Cons, although exciting, are not utopias. They are just like the rest of the world. Big, crowded, and unsafe. So you have to be just as cautious at cons as you are in the rest of the world. Just like in the real world, make sure you're washing your hands when you get the opportunity. Make sure you're eating full meals. And above all, make sure you're avoiding harmful people. I know that it's easy to get excited in like the heat of the moment when you're at the con center for the first time, but try not to get carried away and kind of slack off with those things. Because your health and your safety are the most valuable things to you. So please hold on to them tight and do not let go of them. And my last tip for how to survive your first convention, tip number 5, which is kind of 2 tips, but whatever. Be respectful always, and don't forget to have fun. Conventions can be overwhelming, especially when I'm spewing all this cautionary information at you, but try not to let those things get to you, because conventions can be amazingly fun experiences that make you new friends, get you some pretty sweet merch, and just make memories that will last you a lifetime. So please, don't let your fears get in the way of you having a good time. I know that may be easier said than done in your case specifically, but please do your best. And there you have it, my top 5 tips on how to survive your first convention. I could go on and on, but I decided to keep it to these 5 because in my experiences, these are the most important 5 tips. Like, yeah, like budgeting yourself for the dealer's hall, like crap like that, it's fine and whatever, but please eat food also, because that I wasn't expecting that to be a problem for me, and it was. If you want more cosplay and convention tips, I recommend checking out the other videos in my Practical Cosplay series, and if you found this one helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more cosplay content if you haven't already. And the last thing I wanted to say has nothing to do with this video, but I just wanted to give a big shout out to everybody who is participating in my 50-minute cosplay days challenge over on Instagram. It really means a lot to me that you're all posting, especially because like I'm at a point where I'm starting a new summer job, so it's really hard for me to work on cosplay. Seeing you guys post these amazing things is really inspiring me to just keep chugging along. So just thank you guys so much. And if you don't know what I'm talking about but are interested in maybe joining, feel free to head on over to my Instagram and check it out. Even though you're starting late, you can still catch up and join in on the fun. It's all good. We're pretty chill. We're not gonna just be like, you can't do the challenge because you didn't start on May 27th. Like, no one's gonna be like that. So check it out, and I think that's all for now, Manic Fam. I will see you on the con floor. Words! Gotta love them.